All right, let's move on. Talk about Lock and Key Head Games, #1. Lock and Key, the original series, was one of our favorite series of last year. Possibly our favorite series of last year.
According to the internet.
Do you think that this issue holds up to the previous series?
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Is the first series did such an amazing job. Like, how do you continue with the series? And I was nervous because they set the water level so high. Like, couldn't get back up.
The water level?
Yeah. Kind of using a metaphor, like the water level, and it's like that leaves a mark on the wall, and then you want to get the water back up to that mark because it's so high. So anyways,
If you're doing the show in New Orleans,
yeah, it's good. Sorry for those. But anyways, I was very pleasantly surprised with the setup. Nothing was, it was the same intensity. It was just fantastic.
I agree. This issue really filled the blood pit.
Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
And it really shattered the bone face off the last series. No, it's very good. It's a great series. If you're not reading this, it's fantastic.
what's it about?
Not important.
Yeah, it's about these kids that move back to this creepy house, and their father grew up in this town, and it's basically about all the people that kind of swirl around the family and the house. And there are a bunch of very odd things.
It's a horror series that is actually scary. I think that's the best part about it. Most horror series are, ooh, here's a picture of a zombie. But Gabriel...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We thought Marvel Zombies 3 was actually scary. That's
Yeah.
Thanks for saying this.
Cheap luck thing.
Yes. Gabriel Rodriguez does a great job in the art of really pacing it out and the panel structure of making it a lot of psychological horror going on. I think he does a really great job there. And Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son,
Let him stand on his own.
well, I think he does. That's what I was about to say, that he stands on his own. And I think the nice thing that he
You
does...
said his name. The watermark is low.
The one thing I was going to say about this book that I like the most is with the first...
Yeah, I hear you, buddy.
With the first series, as well as with this issue, each issue stands alone, individually.
Yeah.
Each of them reads as an individual story, yet they're all part of this greater story, which is what I think the best comic book should be. This is a high water mark for comic books.
All this talk about water is making people have to go to the bathroom. We need to talk about dry things.
Should we just like slowly pour some water bottles out on the floor? Pick this up, it's great. Let's move on and talk about Lex Luthor, Phases of Evil, or rather Action Comics number 873. Tying up the New Krypton storyline where 100,000?
A lot.
Yeah. Basically, the Bottle City of Kandor, which has been a plot point in Superman forever, has expanded on Earth, and now there are 100,000 new Kryptonians, all with Superman's powers, who don't have the same moral structure as Superman. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Thank you very much.
Finally, a compliment.
Oh, cool. What did you guys think? Did this tie up this storyline satisfactorily?
Well, I feel like it's just starting. The way the first 9 issues of this were such like, we're getting to this big moment where the Kryptonians finally leave Earth and have their own planet on the other side of the sun, so we can't ever see it. And huh? There are always eclipses. And it's also weird because they tee up Lex Luthor in this, and then he's only in it for like a couple pages.
Well, I think that's the problem with the Faces of Evil thing, is DC right now has this whole Faces of Evil, which is supposed to focus on the villains, and there are only very, very, very few issues that actually focus on the villains. Most of them are just portraits on the front, so it's a little bit misleading.
Yeah.
I kind of really enjoyed the tension of Superman having to try to convince all the Kryptonians why he protects the Earthlings, or is on their side when he's supposedly from Kryptonia.
Is it because he needs the attention?
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Real attention.
He liked being the special guy with all the superpowers, and now he's just one of the crowd. No, but I enjoyed the fact that like he had to justify who he is, basically to his parents and everybody else who thinks he's crazy.
See, I feel like he's so whiny throughout the series. Like, please don't hurt them. Turn yourselves in. Why? And then he doesn't do anything throughout the whole first.
It's a little repetitive, I think. This is very much set up for what is going to come next.
Yeah.
and it's well written, it's well drawn. I really like Pete Wood's art a lot, but it doesn't feel like a lot's going on. Cool. Speaking of a lot going on, let's move on and talk about Invincible number 58, which I think brings back the best tradition of Invincible. Tons of stuff going on all the time, major changes for the characters. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, this is great. There's been some noise about how it's laid out in a 16-panel format as opposed to much less, and it really serves the old spirit of Invincible, where it's like, a lot going on. We're going to check in with this character, then back to Invincible, then these other three characters. And it's great. It's back to the kind of young spirit that it used to have.
Yes. I agree.
It's fresh.
Yeah,
it's young and fresh. MTV, like MTV2.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable. I feel like
I don't know.
I felt
I'm
like
disconnecting with you.
I felt like Kurtman had like a lot of different projects going on maybe, and wasn't able to really give this all the attention that it deserves. And I feel like now it's really back on track. I don't know if that was actually the case, but it just felt like Invincible kind of got somewhere. It wasn't that great as it was when you first started picking up. And I feel like now, like every issue, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what's happening. You know, there's so many different stuff happening. What are they focusing on in this one? So I'm real excited about it. See where it goes.
Yeah, I think it's a great issue, and if you never picked up the series, not the best jumping on point, is it?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, but definitely go back and pick up the trades. Let's move on and talk about an actual Faces of Evil issue, Faces of Evil Prometheus, number 1. Grant Morrison fan, how do you feel about the character of Prometheus?
I liked him.
Cool.
I liked him a lot.
Excellent. What did you guys think about this issue?
Well, now, Grant Morrison created Prometheus back in Justice League.
Right.
As just a regular villain.
Essentially an anti-Batman.
Yeah, he downloads CDs into his brain.
Yeah.
Little antiquated. Very iTunes in his helmet.
It was
basically.
pre-Matrix, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Now we can download MP5.
Yeah, exactly. That's very twisted.
I was a little weirded out that he was still using CDs, and I did think about that too. And I was like,
I like it just for the opening. It's Batman punching Spidey and screaming, Professor Stephen Hawking! It's very sort of milk and cheese murder.
I did think that was weird as well.
yeah, I think that was from the Justice League issue where they took out the Nicholas.
Yeah. I would.
I'm sorry, I ruined the joke.
Huh?
This issue is great. I think Sterling Gates did a great job with this, and this is what all the Faces of Evil things should be. It's focusing on the villain, it's badass, and it's kind of horrible and villainous, which is fun.
Villain. I think it's look. He's got a flaming CD around there. It's not intimidating. It's an evil CD. That's the thing. When I see this, when
You
you
throw
have
CDs instead of batarangs?
yeah, exactly. Third Eye Blind.
I definitely enjoyed this because it didn't, like it gave you a lot of information in case you weren't familiar with Prometheus and all his backstory and the fact that I felt like they went back enough for everybody to get on board with this issue and really get into this character.
I thought it was really good too, but the character design for Prometheus is just terrible.
It's ridiculous. I do
He's
think.
got flashlights. This guy's like straight out of the 50s, like the future.
Well,
He's
yeah,
not
Are you saying they should update it?
Palace isn't going to light his CDs?
Thank you.
Come on. Hey, whoa.
That's the thing. Have you ever tried to look through your CDs in the dark? He's like, he probably has them in a pouch. And shit.
Exactly. And actually, you can swap those. You can swap the flashlights out if you need to, and put beer cans.
Yeah. Oh, so he's an evil Batman, basically. I get it.
Right.
But it was a good issue, and I guess they're going to use this villain in the future.
Sure, why not?